Ashika, good morning. You are able to see my screen and able to hear me? Okay. Any doubts in yesterday's class before we proceed further? Uh, I didn't get that. Is there any question before I proceed further? No. All right. Okay. I said this. Nobody else has joined today. No, I'm not sure about Priya, but the Santoshi, she is like sometimes she has to. So about her, she might go through the recordings. But Priyank, I'm not sure whether he did not tell me anything whether he'll be continuing or not. That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give me 1 minute and not this one. So for you guys, and what we discussed was yesterday. Okay, say you have class A. Okay, and there is a method called greet method. Okay, we have discussed what is global variable and what is local variable. Okay, and there is say a local variable as string x equals to India. Then this local variable cannot be accessed in any other method. This can be accessed only inside the greet method, and when I cannot access it in any other method, definitely I cannot access this variable x in one more class as well. Okay, so if at all I have something called as class B. Okay, and say class A has one global variable called string capital equals to New Delhi. Now if I have something like this New Delhi can be accessed from class B. Okay, and greet also can be accessed from the class B. Okay, you can say A1 is equal to new of A. Okay, it means that you are creating an object of this class A. Okay, and when you say object, there will be a physical memory will be allocated for that object, and say capital is taking around 2 bytes. 2 bytes will be allocated for capital, and say greet method takes around 4 bytes. Okay, so totally 6 bytes will be allocated, and this A1 variable, here, it will have memory location of this first 2 bytes. Okay, say first byte. Okay, say first byte is at memory location 1001. This is what we have discussed. So that is the reason if I say system.out.println sys out, and if I give A1, what will gonna happen is, if I give A1, the memory address of first memory address will be printed, guys. Okay, that is what we have discussed. And using A1, apart from this, using A1, I can access only, what you call it, I can access A1 dot capital, and I can access A1 dot greet. Okay, only these two things I can access using the A1 variable. Okay, now this is what we have discussed, guys. Okay, and this is the base, this forms the basic about what you call this, the objects. Okay, just give me 1 minute, guys. And Priyank, you are able to hear us?
Yes, Vishal, I can hear you.
Okay, and did you get chance to go through yesterday's video by any chance, or you didn't?
No,
No.
no, Vishal, actually,
Mhm.
you have just loaded it today, right?
Yeah, I uploaded it this morning. Yes, correct. Okay, fine. Thanks a lot. Okay, no issues. Now, what I said was, I said how I can access the greet method and how I can access this particular capital. Okay, so that is it what we discussed. Okay, now before we proceed, I wanted to give you guys. Okay, I was supposed to discuss something called as JDK and JVM and JRE architecture. Okay, and it's by learning this, to be frank, by learning this JDK, JVM and JRE architecture, you will not be, it will not help you anyway in writing program. Okay, in writing program it will not gonna help you, but this is, sometimes it is good from the interview point of view. Okay, this is just from the interview point of view. Okay, and that is it. While writing the program as a Selenium developers, it will not gonna help you guys. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I will be going through this JDK, JVM and JRE. Okay, and most importantly, I'm keeping these kinds of topics. Okay, I'm putting it because, you know, Priyank, you will get a time by tomorrow to cover whatever we had discussed yesterday. Okay, because without you understanding that particular topic, if I go further in objects, no, it will not gonna help you. Okay, so I have these kinds of topics which will be, you know, which will not be, which will not gonna break any flow, or, and these kinds of topics can be added anywhere. Okay, so I will always have these kinds of things.
Okay,
Now, yeah, that
thanks.
is the plan. Okay, so go through it whenever you get time, and this is the thing here. Okay, now whenever we say download JDK, okay, download JDK. Okay, there are two things. One is Java development kit. If you go here and you say JDK 1.6, I'll say, okay, because 1.6 kind of have the proper thing, okay. Not here. See everything, okay. Say Java SE standard edition development kit 6.1.6 update 45. Okay, there is something called as JDK as well. Okay, that is what we have used so far. And apart from JDK, we also have something called as JRE. Okay, now by learning this JDK or JRE, to be frank, it will not going to help you in any way in writing the program. Okay, at least for Selenium developers, or even 99% of the Java developers, it will not going to help you by learning how what is JDK and JRE. Okay, but in some of the exceptional cases, okay, now this particular JDK or the JRE, whatever we are seeing, we are getting it from Oracle. Now there are companies like IBM. Okay, IBM, they create their own JDKs. They create their own JDKs. Okay, and if at all you heard of IBM has their own operating system as well. Okay, so those JDKs, whatever IBM has developed, it is optimized. Okay, it is optimized to run better on IBM. What do you call that? IBM operating system. Okay, a particular operating system. They will do the customization. So it is not always that JDK will be developed only by Oracle. It is not the case. Okay, and whatever JDK and JRE that they are developed, they need to know in and out of it because they are actually developing the Java itself. Okay, so that is the thing. So it is not always, first thing that you need to know, it is not always that JRE and JDK will be given by Oracle. Okay, for our case, for the general purpose, it will always be Oracle. But it is, if at all someone wants to use some other JDK, IBM JDK, they are free to use. Okay, so there will be some customization in the IBM JDK, and there are other companies as well. I believe, I don't remember, but there are other companies who develop the JDK and the JREs. Now, what you get when you download Java SE development kit 6.45, and what you get when you download Java SE runtime environment 6.45. Okay, that is what we'll be seeing, guys. Now, when I say about JDK and JRE, you can imagine JDK to be a box like this, a big box like this. Okay, and I will say this is JDK. This is JDK. Okay, and it stands for Java Development Kit. Okay, and they might ask you in the interview. Okay, you may tell me what is exactly the JDK. Okay, they will try to confuse you. Okay, but I don't understand why they are asking you in the interview, because it's not going to help you anyway while writing the program. Okay, even by knowing this, what is JDK and JRE. Okay, now inside JDK you will have some part called as a particular program called as say inside JDK you will have some part, and this part is called as compiler, guys. Compiler. Okay, and they will ask you what is the difference between JDK and the JRE? Okay, now if you remember this particular diagram or whatever explanation I'm giving you, that is more than enough. Okay, now whenever we say when we want to, what do you call that, when you want to compile any Java program, you will say Java C space some example 1 dot Java. This is what we write. So whatever you are doing Java C, it's basically you're calling this particular module of your Java development kit. This particular module of your Java development kit. Okay, this is the first thing to know. And the second thing to know is this is your compiler. Okay, now second thing to know is, apart from this Java development kit, sorry, compiler, you will have something called as JRE, and that stands for Java Runtime Environment. This time stands for Java Runtime Environment. Okay, so basically, if at all you ask me what is JDK, okay, JDK is the combination of Java compiler plus Java runtime environment. So if at all you see on online tutorials and all, they will say, what is JDK? JDK is used for JDK is used for compiling the program, and the JRE is used for runtime environment. Okay, so it's not exactly the correct thing. Okay, so if at all you get the JDK, you have JRE inside it. That is the first thing to know. Okay, JRE will be inside the JDK. Okay, that is the first thing you need to know. So if you go in here, if at all you go to my C drive program files, and if you say Java, and you say JDK, if you go to JDK, JRE will always be there, guys. Okay, so that is the thing. And compiler will not be part of Java runtime environment. Okay, compiler will not be part of Java runtime environment. Okay, this is the first thing you need to know. Now inside your JRE, there will be a particular thing called as, which actually takes this fellow compiler creates the bytecode, correct? Bytecode. There will be actually a person who actually converts this bytecode into machine language and then executes it, and that is called as JVM. Okay, that is the thing, guys. JVM is the module which will help you to execute the bytecode. Okay, how it will execute? It will first go ahead and converts it into machine language and then executes it. Okay, that is the thing. And give me 1 minute, I will give you, I exactly don't remember the okay, thanks a lot. Now apart from this, okay, what Java development kit will have is, apart from this, you will have this one of the thing is compiler, and apart from this you might have other things like, there are utilities in Java which will help you convert your Java source file into some kind of jar file. Okay, and what is jar? It is acronym for Java archive. Okay, and what is jar files? You will come to know when I start Selenium, guys. Okay, jar files are nothing but, for example, if at all you have written some program. Okay, you have written some program and you are converting that program into a project. You will probably in Java you will be converting it to something called as dot jar file. Okay, if you see here, the Selenium standalone, it's a jar. Okay, so Selenium, whatever we are saying, Selenium tool, Selenium automation tool, it's basically a jar file. Okay, and they might have written the code how we write it in the what is that, Eclipse. We used to write these things into Eclipse, right? Like this, correct? They would have used Eclipse or some IDE, but to convert this particular Eclipse, whatever code that you are writing written in Eclipse, to some kind of a jar file. Okay, jar file, what I just showed you, like this. They have used a component in JVM called as jar component. Okay, and this, there will be such component called as, which will help you to convert the source code into a jar file. Okay, and apart from that, there will be many such, what you call this, many such component. Okay, but these are the main components. Okay, this is what you need to know. Okay, and don't try to get too much technical into it. This is it. Now, apart from these two things, I have, as I said, something called as JVM. Okay, and when I say JVM, okay, it will be something like this. Say, or else, let me take this. Say this is my JVM, which will be inside Java runtime environment. Okay, Java runtime environment. Now, JVM is made up of basically two different things. Just a minute. Now, this JVM, it also stands for Java runtime environment. Okay, Java runtime environment, and this is the person who is actually responsible for executing your bytecode.
Sorry, Vishal, JVM stand for Java Runtime
No,
Environment
sorry, not
or
runtime. Java virtual
yeah,
machine. I'm so sorry. Yeah, thanks for
yeah,
clearing
right.
up. Yeah, it stands for, yeah. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, JVM stands for Java virtual machine, guys. Okay, really, thank you. Java virtual machine. Yes, I hope I spelling is correct. Okay, now these are all, the main components, guys. Okay, you will have a component called as jar, compiler, Java runtime environment, and JVM. Okay, now when I say about JVM, okay, it will basically have two different things. Okay, two different things. One is called as, inside JVM you will have two different things. One is called as interpreter, and one is called as just-in-time compiler. Just-in-time compiler, and this is one of the, see, one of the major questions on this architecture is, what is the difference between JDK and JRE? Okay, never say that JDK is used for development and JRE is used for running the application. Don't say that. Okay, just give these kinds of explanation. Okay, so JRE is the part of JDK, and there will be a compiler, okay, which is not part of JRE, but it is a part of the JDK. Okay, and you can say there are other utilities like jar utility is there, which is not included in the JRE. Okay, This is what you can say the difference. But one of the most important question they ask is, what is something called as JITC or just in time compiler? Just in time compiler. Okay, that is what will be one of the major question in the interview. Okay, and there are two modules in JVM. One is just in time compiler, another one is interpreter. Okay, interpreter. Now I said, say I have, let me just, I'll tell you what is the exact difference between these two. Okay, now not this, let me just close this. What is the difference between interpreter and just-in-time compiler? Okay, now when you say commands like Java, okay, and you will say example one, this is how you will execute. Okay, and say your bytecode. Okay, this is actually Java example dot class. Okay, but we don't write this class like this. That's because it is enough to write this much. Okay, as per you know as per Java. So you might have bytecode inside bytecode. You might have something like this, class A. Okay, class A, and it will start here, it will end here. Okay, and then you might have something called as public static void main string args. You might have something like this. Now inside it you might have int x equal to 20. Okay, then so sysout, that is system.out.println, is hey good morning. Okay, now these two are there, and apart from that you might have something like a for loop. Okay, for I is equal to 0 comma semicolon, I is less than or equal to 20,000, I plus plus, and your for loop starts here and for loop ends here. We have not discussed about the for loop, but just imagine there is a for loop and you are doing some particular task here. Say sysout, something you are printing. Okay, good morning. Okay, you are printing hey good morning. Now when you have your program structured like this, okay, always in Java execution happens from the first line in the main method, okay, and right now I'm showing you the source code, but imagine this is your dot class file, okay, which is the compiled version. Okay, dot class file. Okay, first line, it when it tries to execute, first line it is trying to execute it will go ahead and give that particular line. Just a minute here. Give that particular line to your interpreter. Okay, interpreter. And what will interpreter will do is, interpreter will go ahead and convert this line into machine language. Okay, this highlighted line. And once it converts into machine language, it will go ahead and execute it. Okay. Now the second line also, it will do the same thing. It will give it to Java, and who decides to whom to give? There is something, this Java virtual machine JVM will gonna decide whether I have to give this line to the interpreter or just-in-time compiler. Okay. Now these are the two lines which it gave to interpreter. But when it comes to third line, okay, third line in the sense this entire for loop, okay, your Java designed in a way that if there is something repeating, then what they will do is they will give it to JITC. That is what you need remember. Now why they are doing it to JITC is, you should understand how this execution happens. When it is given, when this line, for the first line given to interpreter, it will be converted into machine language, and then it has to be executed. Okay, there are two steps involved. But when there is something that is this particular line which has to be executed 20,000 times, what your JVM will do is, JVM will gonna give it to just-in-time compiler. That's because this is what just-in-time compiler does. Just-in-time compiler will go ahead and compile this line to machine language. Okay, the same thing. And it stores this thing into a temporary buffer. Okay, in a temporary buffer, it stores this particular machine equivalent of this line, that is system.out.println, hey good morning. It stores into a buffer. Okay, and next time it has to be executed. First time it does this, second time it doesn't do the compilation one more time. It will not convert this bytecode into machine language one more time. Instead, it will be executing this machine code directly from the buffer. Okay, and what you are saving it here, you are making sure that this line doesn't get compiled 20,000 times. Instead, compilation happens only once, guys, and the compiled code, that machine language, will be executed 20,000 times. But this particular architecture was not there in the Java initial, very initial version of Java. There is no concept called as just-in-time compiler. Just-in-time compiler came to boost the performance of your Java virtual machine. And how they are doing it? They are doing it by introducing this particular thing called as just-in-time compiler, wherein this bytecode initially, okay, before just-in-time compiler introduced in the Java, this line will be converted into machine language 20,000 times, and every time it will be executed. Okay, now once you introduce just-in-time compiler, it will be compiled only once, and it will be executed how many ever times that is needed. Okay, that is the only difference between just-in-time compiler and your interpreter, guys. Okay, there is nothing more than this. Any doubts here?
So Vishal, I have a confusion here regarding the bytecode and machine language. Is both are the same? like bytecode and machine language?
No. Now, say I'm going into see, you remember the first day we have compiled this hi.java. Okay,
Right.
it was our program and we compiled it and we got something called as hi.class, correct?
Right.
Class, and it was something like this which we cannot read. Okay, this
Right.
particular
Right.
thing is called as bytecode. Okay, that is what we have discussed, and this is not machine language. But when we call this particular thing saying that Java space hi, when we do this, it will be converted into machine language and then executed. That is the thing.
Okay.
Still any doubt? Feel free. No? Okay. So bytecode is not the machine language, guys. Okay, it is not in zeros and ones. Okay, so it will be converted into machine language and then it will be executed, guys. Okay, this is what you need to know. Okay, and that happens in the runtime when you run this Java file. Okay, compilation, it will only give you the bytecode. Okay, and that is exactly your Java virtual machine is doing. Okay, when you say Java space hi, okay, it will go through each line. Okay, first line it will decide whether it has to be given to interpreter or just-in-time compiler. Any repeated task, if any line, the same line has to be executed 100 times, okay, probably, then it will definitely go to just-in-time compiler. Okay, even 2 times it has to be executed the same line, okay, it will definitely go to just-in-time compiler. This is the concept that they are following. Okay, how the implementation they are doing. Okay, whether actually they are doing whatever we have discussed. This is just, you know, this is the overview what, you know, Oracle has given us, guys. Okay, they will not show us the exactly how it looks like because of the security reasons. Neither you will get the exact code how they have implemented it. Okay, because of the security.
Vishal, when you compile a program, that means the compiler is converting the code into bytecode.
Correct. Source code into bytecode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Source code into bytecode. So as you are saying, the bytecode and machine code is not same.
Correct.
So bytecode will have is 0-1 format.
No, we have seen the format. No, I mean I don't think it is having 0-1 format. It has something like this.
And then machine code will have the 0-1 format.
Yes, that's correct. Machine code will have the 0-1 format.
So when someone asks what's the difference between these two, so what is the best answer we should give?
Okay, the machine code is in zeros and ones. Okay, and the bytecode is, you know, even machine code also. We as a human cannot understand bytecode also. We cannot we cannot understand. Okay, but you can say if at all someone gives you the machine code. Okay, someone gives you the machine code and someone tells you to execute it. Okay, it will be much more faster. Okay, but when someone gives you the bytecode, okay, it has to be converted into machine code, machine language, and then it has to be executed. Okay, that is the thing. These are the only different things. Okay, so you can say what is the difference. Machine bytecode is, you know, is the form of Java, you know, Java source code before. No, I don't know the exact you know, the definition, but if at all someone gives you the bytecode, it has to be first converted into machine code. That's when someone can execute it. That is the thing, because your RAM or your processor will not understand bytecode as such, and the Java virtual machine is the one who does it, who helps you convert it. Okay, I don't have the exact definition, but this is the difference, guys.
Because so far we have known this is, I mean, the machine and Java, sorry, machine and bytecode both are same. That's
No,
the reason why.
no, we had discussed it in the first class. It is,
Yeah, I remember.
yeah. So the thing is, machine code and the byte code is definitely not the same. Okay, that you can take it for granted. That's because machine code, sorry, byte code has to be converted to machine code. That's when it can be executed. Any other doubt? Anything?
So Vishal, here we are passing for loop into the interpreter, right?
Uh, for loop will be passing into just-in-time compiler.
Inter
Just-in-time compiler. Okay, not we. It is all Java virtual
yeah,
machine
it is
takes care of.
JVM.
Yeah, JVM does all those things. Okay, it identifies anything which has to be repeatedly compiled, the same line. Okay, it always give it to just-in-time compiler. It always give it to.
So, what is the difference between interpreter and then JIT, just in
Okay.
time?
Okay, so there is, if at all you ask me the difference between just-in-time compiler and the interpreter. Okay, just-in-time will compiler will have some kind of a buffer. Okay, and it stores, say one line has been executed, it will be that particular machine language of that particular thing will be there in the interpreter for some time. Okay, and what is the time duration for which it stores that machine equivalent of a particular line, it all decided by the JVM. But interpreter, there is nothing like that. Someone gives them him the line, he converts into the machine language, he executes it, and he just deletes it. Okay, he will not be bothered to keep that machine language into some kind of a buffer. This is the only difference here. Okay.
So Vishal, correct me if I'm wrong. Like if something is not repetitive, it will go to the interpreter.
Yes, you can say that. Yeah, you can say that.
Can you give me an example? Like
Say, you know,
if it is only a system out this output statement, then it will directly go to interpreter. But if it is a for loop, it will go to the
yes, yes. So most of the times, whenever you see some kind of looping, okay, some kind of looping, that is when you can say for sure shot it will be going into the just-in-time compiler. But when there is no looping and all, okay, it will normally go to what is that called? Interpreter. Okay, that is the thing. If there is no loop, you see, then it will be given to the what is that called? Just-in-time compiler. Okay, and you are not just looping. Okay, if at all you see your Java virtual machine or the JVM is so clever nowadays. Okay, for example, if at all it sees something like this, okay, int x equals to 20. Okay, and you are saying similar things. Okay, even in those cases, okay, it might give it to your just-in-time compiler. Okay, but only one thing you can, for guaranteed you can say it will go for the just-in-time compiler is in case of looping. Okay, that is the thing. Looping, or there is something called as thing called as recursion. Okay, there is something called as recursion in Java. Okay, recursion. In recursion also it goes into just-in-time compiler. Okay, recursion is basically you have a method, that method calls itself. Okay, and it will be going for some kind of a loop. Okay, so in those kinds also you can say it will go for the just-in-time compiler whenever there is a looping. Okay, any other thing. And sometimes if at all you have something like you have if else condition. Okay, say you have if this is true, you do this. Okay, else if, okay, you will say here you say step 1. Okay, something you are doing, step 2. Okay, step 2. And here also, else if you are doing step 2 and step 3, says else step 2 and step 3. Okay, so in those cases, and you say after finally you are again doing, okay, outside anything, okay, compulsorily you are doing something called as step 2 again, okay, for some reason the same code you are writing it here also, okay. Even in that case it might go for just-in-time compiler, okay. Your JVM follows some internal algorithms, and there will be set of rules. Depending on that, it will give you either it to just-in-time compiler or else the interpreter. But for sure you can say it will go to the just-in-time compiler only when there is a looping condition. That is the thing. Okay, any other thing which is bothering you guys?
So when you say what is JRE, so what can we tell? It is a
It helps.
combination of
Yeah, JRE basically helps you to execute your bytecode. Okay, so how it this is the first sentence you can say. JRE helps you to execute your bytecode. Okay, and in the process it will first convert the bytecode into machine language, and then it will execute. Okay, and JRE will not have these utilities like your compiler or jar utilities will not be part of the JRE. That is what you can say. And this is it. What is JRE? And you can add these things also. The JRE will have Java virtual machine inside it and all. Any other thing? Anyone? Okay, by learning this, okay, it will not gonna help you any way while writing the program. It is just for they ask in the interview, okay, and I seriously don't understand why they are asking you it in the interview. Okay, they will ask you what is the difference between JDK and the JRE. They might ask you what is the difference between they will not ask the difference between interpreter and just-in-time compiler. They will ask what is just-in-time compiler. Okay, these are the important things I have seen. Okay, now if you go on the internet and search, okay, what is the difference between JDK and JRE, okay, you will have lots of they will talk, okay, but you guys, even I did not understand what exactly they are talking, okay, but this is one of the things which makes sense. Okay, what is JDK, what is JRE? That is it, guys. Okay, any other doubt, any one of you? No doubt? Okay, now this is what you need to understand, remember, guys. Okay, if at all someone asks you it in the interview. Now coming back to Java, okay, coming back to Java, I'm not getting where exactly I had written your code. Give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, let me create it here itself. Now coming back to your code, if you remember in the first day we had discussed, if at all I say I have a class called as example.java, okay, example1.java, okay. I told you something called as int x equals to 20 and int y is equal to 30. Okay. Now if I say, if I want to compare, if x is equal to y, then you will say SYSOUT. Let's say numbers are equal. Okay, this is how we can compare two variables, I said. But I also told you guys, if at all if x and y are strings, string x and string y, okay, and say this is ABC and this is XYZ. What is the problem here? Okay, XYZ. I have told you, you should not be comparing strings like this. That is what I told you. Now, how will you know which one to compare like this and which one not to compare like this? Okay. To understand that, you should know something called as primitive data type and derived data type in Java. Okay. Now there are basically two kinds of data types in Java, guys. Okay, this is the basics of the data types. Now primitive data type, when I say primitive data type, when I say these are the data types which you will normally see in all the languages, like int, float, character, double, and boolean, character, double, boolean. Okay, there are three or four more. Okay, if at all you do a Google, primitive, short, and all this primitive data, short and long. So, okay, so these are all the primitive data types, guys. Okay, in Java, these are all the primitive data types. Okay, and that is it. Okay, and I don't remember this particular list, and I don't expect you to remember this list either. But I want you to understand what is primitive data type. Okay, primitive data types are these basic data type which you will see in almost all the languages. Okay, and the most importantly, there will not be any class called as boolean, this b lowercase. Okay, I'm saying b lowercase. There will not be any class in Java. If you see in any of these jar files, when I install Java or I get all these jar files, you will not see any class called boolean, neither you will see the class called byte or character or short or any of these. Okay, those are called primitive data types, and they are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 primitive data types are there, guys, in Java. And what are primitive data types? Primitive data types are the one which are not declared as classes in Java. Okay, classes in Java. Then next thing comes, what is derived data type? Okay, derived data type, and which are they? Okay, if you ask me how many derived data, if at all you ask me how many primitive data types are there, I will say 8 primitive data types, and I will probably say these 8. how many derived data types, if at all someone asks you in the Java, the answer is infinity. And believe me, infinity. Why it is infinity is, if at all you create a class called as class A, as per Java, this is also a data type. Anything that you create is, or else anything is a class in Java is a data type. That's the reason in derived data type, one of the most important thing is string data type. Okay, if you see, if I go into this, the other day we have seen there is a class called string class in Java, which is there in java.lang package. Java.lang package, this is the package name, and it is there in rt.jar. Okay, so anything which is a class in Java, anything which is a class in Java is derived data type. Okay, and which is not a class in Java, that is primitive data type. Okay, this is what you need to know. And when you are comparing primitive data type, you can use equals to. But when you are comparing derived data type, you cannot use equals to. You have to use something else. What is that, we will see. But you cannot use equals to. Might give you a proper result.
So Vishal,
Yeah, go ahead.
why, like if we use equal to with the string, so can we get the results?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say that. So it will depend. You might get correct result or you might not get the correct result. And we will see in next 5 minutes why I am saying that. Okay, I will revisit your question. Okay, in next 5 minutes. That is the thing. Any other doubt before that?
Yeah, I have one more question, Vishal. Like, if it is a derived data type, like string is starting from initial capital,
Correct.
but primitive is not starting from initial capital. So it is like primitive or derived data type, or how it is coming? Like how we would get to know that which data type start with initial capital?
Okay. Now, see what I told you. It's like this. Any derived data type is basically class in Java, correct? Class in Java, that is what I said. And as per the Java convention, every class should start with capital letter. Every start with, every class should start with the capital letter. So if any data type which starts with a capital letter, it's a derived data type. Okay, and it is not in all these things. Okay, if it is not in all these 8 data type, it is definitely a derived data type. Okay, but you can go ahead and create a class. You can write a class like this class, and you send Priyank. Okay, this is not a proper naming convention. Okay, because you have written p uppercase, p lowercase. Okay, but p should be uppercase. Okay, say consider you're writing p in the lowercase. Even then, now Priyank, Priyank, is a derived data type, you can say. Okay, so that is the thing. So but normally 99.99% derived data type will start with uppercase letter. Okay, uppercase letter. Okay, and to give you one more example, they will ask you whether Java is purely object oriented or not. Purely object oriented or not. Okay, is it a pure object oriented program? And the answer is, answer is no. Okay, I'll tell you why no. But I wanted to tell you, you see boolean, double, char, okay, these are the primitive data type. But in Java there is also something called as the uppercase. See, boolean flag is equal to, I can say, true. Instead of int, I have something called as integer x equals to 55. Now what is the problem here? Just a minute. Okay, x is a local variable. Okay, integer, a duplicate variable. Okay, now integer roll number. Okay, equals to 55. Now if you say int roll equals to 45, this one, int roll equals to 45, is a primitive data type. But if you say integer roll number equals to 55, this is a derived data type. Okay, this is the derived data type. So basically,
do we have integer? Do we have integer as a class?
Yes, we have integer as a class. If how to go ahead and do that? No, you have to take the control key on your keyboard, then you will get this hand symbol on the integer. Then click on that integer. Okay, it will highlight integer as a class. There is a class called as integer. Similarly, there is a class called as boolean, but there is no such class called as int. Integer is there, int is not there. Okay, so these are all the derived data type. Anything which is a class in Java, whether it is given by Java itself or whether you have created it, doesn't matter. Everything is a derived data type. And for derived data type, you cannot use equals to equals to. You cannot use equals to equals to. That is the thing, guys.
So if we want to compare the string, in that case there is an operator compare, that one we use.
There are many operators. There are two different operators. Okay, so we will see.
For comparing, yeah.
For comparing string content, we will see. There is something called as, okay, there is something called as dot equals. Okay, it's a method. Okay,
Yeah.
method in the string class, equals and all. Okay, so that we can use, but you cannot use equals to equals to. Okay. Now Priyank had asked me, why can't you use equals to equals to? What is the problem for strings? Okay, strings. And the answer lies in yesterday's class. Answer lies in yesterday's class. What I said, if at all there is any class, okay, you say there is any class, say I'll say class A. I'm creating the object of this class A1 is equals to new of A. What I said, how it works, say A class has one integer x equals to 33, string name equal to say J, okay, integer x, integer roll number. Okay, I'll say what I said you guys yesterday, that is, when you say a1 equals to new of A, there will be a variable A1 which will be created, okay, and there will be some memory location which is allocated for this. When you say new of A, say roll number takes 1 byte, and string takes 2 bytes. Totally 3 bytes will be allocated for this particular object. And what I said A1 will contain the memory address, that is, say this memory address is 2000, and this is 2001, and this is 2002. Okay, A1 will contain this memory address 2000, first memory address of that particular object. This is what we have said. That is the reason if I say system.out.println, and if I say A1, what is getting printed? Memory address 2000 was getting printed, which we have seen yesterday. So basically A1 will have what? The memory address. The same, exactly same thing applies, guys. Any object, if at all you compare, say string x equals to, you say Vishal, okay, you say something like this. Okay, behind the scene Java does the same thing. Okay, behind the scene, okay, you will not see that. Java will do like this, string, okay, behind the scene this is what happens, is equal to new of string, and it will pass Vishal. Something like this Java will do. Okay, not exactly this, something like this Java will do. It will create the object for this string. Okay, you will not gonna see this, you will only write this one. Okay, string x equals to Vishal. But when you write something like this, what happens is there will be a variable x created, and this value Vishal will be at some memory location. Say it is taking around 2 bytes. Okay, so it is at 7000, memory location of 7000, and this is 7001. Okay, and Vishal will be written here, and x will have the memory address 2000. Similarly, if you say string y equals to again Vishal, what will gonna happen is a variable y will be created. It will have, say it is at 450, memory location 450, and this is 451. Okay, y will have memory location of 450, and it will have the same content Vishal here written here. Now if you say if x is equal to y, what is exactly getting compared, guys? The memory address is getting compared, the content is not getting compared. That is the reason you might not get the exact result what you want. Okay, this is the main reason, guys. Okay, and Priyank, for you to understand this, I request you to go through the yesterday's class, and we will be discussing more about this particular topic. Okay, there is something called as string constant pool. There is something called a string constant pool. Whatever I just said, it is not entirely true, but it's more or less it is true. Okay, but I'll tell you the exact thing in tomorrow's class. There is something called a string constant pool and all. Okay, string constant pool. If you understand what is string constant pool, you will be able to understand when can we use equal to and when you cannot use equal to in case of strings. Okay, that is the thing. Any other doubt here, guys? No doubt? Okay, if no doubt, that's it for today, guys. Okay, I might need to go to office a little bit early today, and you know, I'm also trying to get you guys some kind of notes. I will see. Okay, so it is still in progress. Okay, I'll see what can be done, and accordingly, you know, I should be able to give you guys some notes as well. Okay, and that's it for today, guys. If at all you guys don't have any questions, you can drop off, and For Priyank, request you to kindly
And
watch yesterday's video.
right,
Vishal,
Vishal. And
syllabus.
Yashika, please go ahead.
Syllabus.
Yeah, sorry. Shika had asked me for the syllabus. Priyank, did I send you the syllabus anytime in previously or something? I don't think.
No, Vishal.
No, right? Okay. I'll send you the syllabus, guys. Okay. Yeah, I'll send you the syllabus. No issues.
Okay, thank you. I'm dropping off now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Priyank, go ahead.
And Vishal, I would request you, like, if I will be doing some session today, if you can upload it today itself, that will be helpful. Like yesterday, I was actually I was facing some internet issues in the morning, so I joined the class, and within 10 to 15 minutes, I got dropped off.
Okay.
So I was not able to reconnect it, but when I went to the office and I was searching for the video, it was not there.
Uploaded.
So I went through old classes yesterday.
Okay. See what
So
happens, No, I
I have
understand.
not pinged you because might be you were in office, so you would not be able to upload it at that time.
Yeah, that is true. But the thing is, what is happening, once we upload it, right? I mean, once we end the session, okay, this is the problem. Once I end the session, say if I go to the documents, I will be getting some file like .g2m. Okay, now this file has to be converted into the MP4 file. Okay, MP4 file, and then I have to upload it. Now when I do this, no, I have to convert it into MP4 file. Okay, it takes around 1 hour. Okay, and I had to go to office. That's the reason I could not do it. But I'll do one thing. Okay, if not this, within 2 or 3 hours, by evening 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. I should be able to do that.
Yeah, that would be fine. That would be fine because I have followed you. Once you upload any video, I got the notification.
Okay. Got it. No issues. Okay, I'll try to do that. Okay, so that should not be the problem.
Even yesterday night, like I got some time around 11 p.m. I was searching for the class. If it would be available, then I can go through it before today's class.
Okay.
But it was not there.
Got it. Yeah. That's right. This morning I uploaded it. Okay, not an issue. I'll try to do that going forward. Okay, that's better. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much, Vishal.
No issues, man. Okay, you're welcome. And anything else?
No, Vishal.
Okay, that's it for today then, Priyank.
But and last thing is about the notes. When I say about the notes, like what difficulty I'm seeing, like if I'll be preparing for interviews, like I should be having some theoretical knowledge as well apart from the practical knowledge.
200%.
So
yeah.
So we might not be able to search each and every time on the Google that what is the difference between these two. We might skip some of the topics that would be relevant to interviews. So if you can just like if we have some note there that what is the difference between JDK and JRE, then that would be helpful. We can search it on Google, but
what you are saying is
in notes, if it can be covered, that would be good.
No, what you are saying is makes sense. Okay, that is true. In case of, say, yeah, you can do everything practically, but if at all you have to quickly go through or something, okay, just want to see what is the difference between something, okay, or some kind of definition or difference. It makes sense. It makes sense to go through some notes. Okay, you need not wait for the entire video to see and all those things. Okay, that makes sense. That is what you're saying is correct. I'll do one thing. Okay, I'll try to get you guys the notes. Okay, that will be much more better.
Okay? Right, and before interview, like, we don't have sufficient time to go through videos or go through and Google everything.
Yeah, it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out like that. If at all the only thing would work out, no, when you have the notes in hand, no, you can just just turn some pages and just have a glance at it. That is what helps you.
Right.
Even when I am doing it, no, I'm finding that one is more easier. Okay, that is the thing.
Right. And we can add something to our notes, but we cannot create notes. What I think is.
Yeah, I should be able to create it for you guys. Okay, so that's not a problem, because this request actually from batch number 23 also they had asked. Okay, the person had asked, but
Vishal, you're not audible. You're not clearly audible, Vishal.
no, on even the batch 23. Okay, even that time someone had asked. Okay, but it got delayed. But I will do one thing. Okay, I will definitely start giving you guys the notes. Okay, and it will be one Word document. I will be keep on adding something or other into that Word document as and how we proceed. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Any other thing, man?
No, Vishal, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. You would be getting late for your office.
No. I have to leave by around 9 o'clock only, so not a problem.
Okay.
But if there is anything that you get stuck or something, just let me know. I should be able to help.
Sure, Vishal. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Priyank. Take care. Bye bye.